When nobody else noticed the nights you cried yourself to sleep, God did. He watched you hold on to hope when circumstances told you to quit. Those hidden tears were not wasted. They were seeds watered in the soil of faith. The Bible reminds us that those who sow in tears will reap with songs of joy. Every silent battle you faced built the foundation for your harvest season. You may have thought you were forgotten, but heaven was writing your testimony all along. Think about how many times you wanted to give up but didn't. Those moments of quiet resilience are why you're here today. God saw your prayers whispered in the dark, your sacrifices that no one acknowledged, and the times you chose righteousness over compromise. The tears you shed were like spiritual rain, softening the soil of your destiny so your blessings could take root. This is why your harvest will not look ordinary. It will be abundant, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. So, chosen one, lift your head high. Your tears have turned into testimonies. The soil you watered with your pain is about to produce fruit you never imagined. Endurance is not glamorous. It doesn't get applause, it doesn't trend, and it doesn't go viral. But in God's eyes, endurance is priceless. When you kept moving forward despite rejection, failure, or ridicule, you were proving that your faith was stronger than your circumstances. Silent endurance is like a seed growing underground. No one sees it, but when the season comes, it bursts forth in strength. So many people around you may have wondered why you didn't just give up. They couldn't see the vision God planted in you. They didn't understand the promise written in your spirit. That's why endurance separates the chosen ones from the rest, because you know deep down that your story isn't over. You've been preserved for this moment, and your harvest is proof that waiting on the Lord is never wasted. Remember this: endurance may not look beautiful while you're in it, but the outcome is radiant. The pain of waiting is temporary, but the joy of the harvest is eternal. Sometimes it feels like doing good doesn't pay off. You prayed for others when nobody prayed for you. You showed kindness when cruelty came your way. You sowed seeds of love even in seasons of loneliness. Maybe people ignored your faithfulness, but heaven didn't. God's word says, "Be not weary in well-doing, for in due season you will reap if you faint not." Every act of love and obedience was recorded, and now the time has come for your harvest to be released. Think of it like a divine ledger. Every prayer you prayed, every fast you endured, every time you forgave someone who hurt you, it was written in heaven's record. These were not wasted moments. They were investments in your spiritual future. Now, God is turning those invisible deposits into visible blessings. This is why your harvest will feel overwhelming, because you've been storing up for years without realizing it. Chosen one, your harvest isn't coming because you were perfect. It's coming because you were faithful. Sowing and reaping never look the same. Sowing is messy. It involves breaking the ground, planting seeds, watering in faith, and waiting. Reaping, however, is joyful. It's the moment where all the hidden work is revealed in public blessing. Many of you have been in a long sowing season, working hard, staying obedient, praying when it felt like no answer was coming. But now the shift is here. The season has changed and it's time to reap. Think about farmers. They don't cry forever over the backbreaking labor of sowing. They endure because they know the joy of harvest is coming. The same principle applies to your life. You endured seasons of loneliness, delay, rejection, and spiritual warfare. Those were your sowing seasons. But now God is declaring over your life, it is harvest time. The blessings you're about to see will not match the pain you went through. They will exceed it. Reaping feels different because it comes with joy, relief, and gratitude. Get ready, chosen one. Your season has shifted. God is not just bringing you a small return. He's bringing you an overflow. You may have thought you'd receive just enough to survive, but God is preparing to exceed your expectations. The harvest He's bringing is not ordinary. It is divine, supernatural, and pressed down until it overflows. This means promotions you didn't apply for, doors you didn't knock on, and opportunities that seemed impossible will suddenly appear. We often underestimate how much God wants to bless us, but Ephesians 3:20 reminds us that He can do exceedingly abundantly above all that we ask or think. Your harvest will not just cover what you lost, It will multiply into blessings that will shock those who thought you were finished. This is the kind of season where you'll look back and say, "Only God could have done this." Chosen one, your harvest is not average. It is abundant, divine, and undeniable. Obedience isn't always easy. It often requires walking away from comfort zones, letting go of relationships, and making decisions that don't make sense to those around you. But every act of obedience you carried out, whether it was forgiving someone who hurt you, tithing when you had little, or trusting God with your future, became a key that unlocked doors in the spiritual realm. Heaven honors obedience because it reflects trust. Many times, obedience feels like sacrifice. You had to say no to things that looked good but were God's best for you. You had to wait when others were rushing ahead. But now, those sacrifices are turning into blessings. God is bringing you into rooms you never imagined entering and opening opportunities you could not have forced your way into. This is the power of obedience. It sets you apart and ushers in divine favor. Remember this: obedience always costs something in the short term, but it brings rewards in the long term. Sometimes it felt like your blessing was late. You waited months, maybe even years, for the breakthrough you prayed for. You may have compared yourself to others and wondered why they were receiving while you were still sowing. But God's timing has never been late. It has been strategic. He was aligning your blessing with your readiness and protecting you from opportunities that would have destroyed you too early. Think about Joseph in the Bible. He was given a dream but had to endure betrayal, slavery, and imprisonment before he reached the palace. To human eyes, it looked like delay, but to God, it was preparation. The same is true for you, chosen one. The season that felt like stagnation was really divine preparation for your harvest. Now that the timing has aligned, nothing can stop what God is releasing into your life. Delay is not denial, it's preparation. And your preparation has led you to this exact moment. Not everyone who started with you was meant to finish with you. Some people left, rejected you, or turned against you. At the time, it hurt deeply, and you may have questioned why God allowed it. But now you'll see, it was part of the harvest process. Some people cannot go where God is taking you because their presence would corrupt the blessing. Sometimes rejection is protection. When you look back, you'll realize that the people who walked away made room for God to bring the right ones into your life. Had they stayed, they may have sabotaged your growth or poisoned your peace. God needed you to walk into this harvest season without extra baggage. Their exit was not your loss, it was your pruning. And pruning always leads to greater fruitfulness. So don't mourn the ones who left. Celebrate that you're lighter, stronger, and ready for the season ahead. Every harvest comes after a season of testing. You went through trials that tested your patience, faith, and resilience. These tests weren't meant to destroy you. They were designed to strengthen your character. Just as gold is refined in fire, your spirit was refined through hardship. Now, you carry wisdom and endurance that only testing could produce. Many people break under pressure, but you endured. You didn't just survive, you grew. You learned how to lean on God when resources were scarce, how to worship even in heartbreak, and how to trust when the future looked uncertain. These lessons were priceless because they prepared you to handle the harvest responsibly. Without the test, you wouldn't be ready for the blessing. Chosen one, your survival is your testimony, and your testimony is proof that your harvest season is here. Restoration is part of your harvest. Some of you have faced years of loss, broken relationships, financial setbacks, stolen opportunities, or even health battles. But the God you serve is a God of restoration. He doesn't just give you back what was stolen, He multiplies it. Job lost everything but received double for his trouble. That same principle applies to your life. The tears you cried over what was taken will soon turn into tears of joy over what is being returned. And this restoration will not be ordinary. It will come with interest. God is rewriting your story in such a way that even your losses will work for your good. What looked like devastation will become the foundation for your greatest victories. Your harvest includes restoration, and it will be so great that you'll forget the pain of what was lost. Every chosen one has faced criticism. People doubted your abilities, questioned your faith, or laughed at your dreams. They didn't understand why you stayed faithful when things looked bleak. But God specializes in turning ridicule into revelation. Your harvest will be so undeniable that even your critics will have to acknowledge the hand of God on your life. Think about Hannah in the Bible, mocked by Peninnah for not having children. When God gave her Samuel, the blessing silenced every critic. The same way your breakthrough will answer every question, every insult, and every doubt spoken over you. You won't need to defend yourself. Your harvest will speak for you. That's why you stayed quiet when others attacked. God Himself was preparing your response. Your harvest is your evidence. It will speak louder than words ever could. God's blessings rarely arrive in predictable ways. Sometimes He surprises you with opportunities from places you never considered. The harvest season often comes with doors you didn't knock on and blessings you didn't chase. These are divine setups, moments where God shows you that favor can't be earned, only given. Many of you will see unexpected financial opportunities, relationships, or platforms that don't match your qualifications but fit your calling. That's how God works. He opens doors no man can shut. When these moments arrive, remember to give Him glory because it won't be your resume, talent, or connections that got you there. It will be divine favor. This is what separates the chosen ones. Their blessings are not man-made but heaven-sent. Chosen one, prepare yourself. The doors God is opening for you will shock even you. Your harvest isn't just about material blessings. It's about impact. God is positioning you in a way that your voice, your story, and your journey will inspire others. Influence is part of your harvest, and it's not about fame but about purpose. You went through what you did so others could see what resilience and faith look like in action. People who never noticed you before will now listen. Your testimony will resonate because it's not theory, it's lived experience. This is why God allowed the long season of trials. It gave you depth, empathy, and wisdom. Now your words will carry weight. When you speak, people will listen, not because of who you are, but because of what you've endured. Your influence is not accidental, it's harvest, and it's coming with power and authority. One of the most beautiful parts of reaping is how joy heals old pain. When blessings begin to flow, you'll look back at the seasons of struggle and see them through a new lens. Pain that once felt unbearable will now feel purposeful. The joy of holding what you once only prayed for will wash away the bitterness of waiting. Think of Sarah, who laughed when God fulfilled His promise of giving her Isaac. That laugh wasn't just happiness, it was healing. Every insult, every tear, every moment of doubt disappeared in that joy. The same will happen to you. The wounds that seemed permanent will fade when you experience the fullness of your harvest. You won't just survive, you'll thrive with renewed joy. Your harvest is healing. It's proof that God turns sorrow into dancing. Receiving the harvest is one thing, keeping it is another. Gratitude is what sustains blessings. When you remember that every good gift comes from above, you stay humble, wise, and aligned with God's will. Gratitude ensures that pride doesn't creep in, and it keeps the doors of heaven open for more. Many people forget God once they receive their harvest. They think it was their effort alone that got them there. But the chosen ones know better. You know the sleepless nights, the tears, and the prayers that led to this moment. That's why your gratitude must be loud, consistent, and sincere. Thank Him in public, thank Him in private, and thank Him daily. Gratitude is not a one-time act, it's a lifestyle. Stay thankful, and your harvest will multiply beyond what you can imagine. The harvest God is bringing isn't just for you, it's for your children, your family, and even people you've never met. The blessings you receive will ripple into generations, breaking curses and planting seeds of abundance. Think of Abraham. God's covenant with him didn't stop at his life. It flowed into Isaac, Jacob, and beyond. Your harvest is generational. This is why the battles you faced were so intense. The enemy wasn't just fighting you, he was fighting your bloodline. But by staying faithful, you've broken cycles of lack, fear, and defeat. What you receive in this season will create opportunities for those who come after you. Your obedience, prayers, and sacrifices have paved the way for blessings that will outlive you. Chosen one, your harvest is bigger than you, it's legacy. Your harvest isn't just about material things, it includes people. The right relationships are part of your blessing. God is sending helpers, mentors, and destiny partners who will elevate you, support you, and walk with you into this new season. Some of these people will appear unexpectedly, but they will feel like they've been part of your life forever. You've endured seasons of isolation where it felt like no one understood you. That was preparation, so you could appreciate the right people when they arrived. These connections aren't ordinary, they're divine. They'll align with your purpose, strengthen your faith, and remind you that you're not alone. When God brings people, it's always strategic and purposeful. Get ready. Your harvest includes people who will carry you further than you could go alone. One of the most powerful truths about harvest seasons is that they often happen suddenly. You'll wake up one day and find everything shifted. Years of struggle can turn into a breakthrough in a single moment. That's how God works. He moves suddenly, without warning, to remind you that He alone is in control. You may have been waiting so long that you grew weary. But don't lose hope. The sudden move of God can happen at any time. In Scripture, Paul and Silas were in prison, and suddenly the doors flew open. That's the same kind of breakthrough waiting for you. The sudden harvest will be so swift and powerful that it will leave you in awe of God's goodness. Your waiting won't last forever. When God moves, it will be sudden and undeniable. Your harvest isn't just about personal blessings, it's about testimony. People will hear what you've been through and be encouraged to keep going. Your story will inspire those who are struggling in silence. Sometimes the greatest ministry is simply living out your breakthrough for others to see. Think about how Joseph's story didn't just elevate him, it saved entire nations during famine. Your testimony will have the same ripple effect. It may be through your words, your career, your family, or even your resilience, but your harvest will show others what's possible when you trust God. Don't underestimate the power of your story. God is using it to bring light to others. Chosen one, your testimony is harvest, and the world is waiting to hear it. This is not the time to shrink back in fear. The harvest is here, and it's yours to claim. God didn't bring you this far just for you to hesitate. Step into this season with boldness, gratitude, and faith. Walk confidently, knowing that what you carry was given to you by divine design. Remember, the harvest doesn't mean life will be perfect. It means God's favor will overshadow your flaws. You've sown, you've endured, and now it's time to reap. Don't sabotage your blessing with doubt or fear. Stand tall and embrace the abundance waiting for you. This is your season of answered prayers, restored joy, and undeniable favor. Chosen one, your harvest has arrived. Walk in it. Beloved, this entire message is a confirmation that God is proud of how far you've come, and now comes the harvest. Every tear, every prayer, every moment of waiting has led you here. This is your season. Don't be afraid to step into it with gratitude, boldness, and faith. If this message touched your spirit, make sure to like this video, subscribe to Anointed Era, and share this with someone who needs encouragement today. I'd love to hear from you in the comments. What part of this message spoke to you the most? Do you feel like your harvest season is finally here? Your words might encourage someone else reading. This is Anointed Era reminding you your season of harvest has begun. Claim it, live it, walk in it.